Welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and as usual, this video is brought to you by the Excelsior Sporting Club. Today, we're joined by British light heavyweight Shakan Pitters. Shaq, how you getting on, mate?
All good, mate. All good. Can't
Good.
complain. I was gone though. That's about as big as the complaint is. But yeah,
Right, I want you to take me right back to the start, mate. How did you first get into boxing?
playing football. Dad took me to the gym. Up from the age of about 8. Let me train, let me do things, but he just never let me start to do the actual boxing side of things, like compete. So I was going there for training and things. Obviously, then I was at West Brom for a while. Got released. Started, and then took it upon myself later at 22 to start boxing back again.
Mm. When did you know it was for you, though? Because obviously, like you say, you started boxing and you've enjoyed it since you was a kid. But when did you know, like, this is a career thing? Like, this is what I'm gonna do?
Um, I always liked it. I always preferred it. Um, I think it's when I had no choice in a way, in the sense where I just wanted to do. I wanted to be involved in some form of sport instead of working, basically.
Mm.
So that was like the next thing. What I was, good at. Like I was good at fighting, and that was the next thing. So I thought, go into it, give it a go. If I was to fail, then who cares, basically.
Mm.
But I realized obviously early on that I could pick it back up again.
Talk to me a little bit about the amateurs, because some people I speak to, they're so happy when they turn pro because they hate the amateur format and stuff like that. But how was the amateurs for you? What do you think to it?
I think there's good in taking both.
Mm.
The amateur format. I mean, I weren't motivated by trophies, so it was when you're at my age. I could see how it is good for the younger generation. Um, you know, they're fighting. There's trophies involved for them, and I was picking up trophies like at football. But in boxing, I wasn't really interested in the trophy side of
Mm.
things. I was interested in earning money in it as well, and I knew with the whole obviously when I made the transition to turn over the pro, then I realized very quickly what's at stake and what can be earned. As you win in, the more you win, the more you earn in a way. But it's good, I think, for those who are developing and those who are coming up, and anyone who's starting off. Like anything, you've got to start somewhere. And amateurs is something where I started. I didn't, I wish I did take it a bit more seriously. But I
Mm.
feel like at 22, like there's a lot. I've got responsibilities. Then you know what I mean. I've got my own little bills. Life hits us a bit
Yeah.
differently. So I didn't have time to waste around and just collect trophies. But I wish I did. I wish I never. I wish I was allowed to do both in a way, because then I would have pushed towards the GB development and hopefully trying to have aspirations of hitting the Olympics and those kind of things. Because I think it's good to call yourself an Olympian. It's good
Mm.
to represent the country. So that's the only thing I really like. Well, not the only thing, but I missed out on that because of my mindset being at 22, starting boxing as amateur, and I just didn't. I weren't familiar. I didn't really care about trophies. Many of them, win or lose, I left.
Mm-mm. You mentioned there about like being an Olympian and being on the GB squad and things like that. Do you reckon now you've turned pro and you're a seasoned pro? Looking back, do you think that maybe because you didn't have that Olympian, next to your name, do you think that maybe held you back a little bit?
I would only say in the early stages of my career, obviously I had to start on the small horse shows like a lot of
Mm.
people have. Um, I feel like when a lot of people do reach the heights of calling themselves Olympian, obviously you walk straight into a good deal, don't you? Like, straight into TV. So I kind of done it the hard way in the sense, but being at my age, what was expected, when I was 22, I ain't gonna want to stay and be an amateur until I'm 28 or
Mm.
any that. And I understand how the England boxing development system works. They have people already on board who already got podium slots and all these other slots. So you've got to earn your position, and those things take a bit longer, and they take long to obviously come to light.
Mm. Well, talk to me about the debut then, because when I was looking at it, it blew my mind a little bit. In the Holt Suite at Villa Park. So
That's
tell me
fun.
about that, but also tell me about the night itself. Like your debut, you only
Yeah.
get it once.
So when I made that transition from amateur to pro, it was I didn't know what to expect. So I was training obviously originally with a lot of the amateurs in my gym, and then like I kind of started training more with the pros. And was just seeing how they train, which is a different. In our gym, it was just it's different time. It's a different form of exercise. A lot of theirs is a lot more endurance based and fitness based. So it was a different change. Whereas as an amateur, everything was more speedy, fast and, you know, basically on 100 miles per hour. Whereas now in the pros, the way I had to train in our gym anyway, a lot of the times it was slowed down, but a lot more endurance things, a longer period of time on the bags. Like sometimes the bell don't even exist. You're just
Mm,
carrying on through. Um, my debut it was good. I feel like a lot of people from my city got behind me. We sold a lot of tickets. I had a lot of support. I went in there not knowing what was going on, but it all started when I got there. I was optimistic in it. So when I went in the back, it was like I'm getting my hands wrapped for the first time because I never had my
mm.
hands wrapped. I used to wrap them myself as an amateur, and then it was just like when I put the gloves on, I was like, "Where the hell's the rest of this glove?" Like I was like, "Where's the rest of this glove?" Because I was used at that time fighting in 10 ounces and 12s, but it was like they had a lot more padding at the front,
Mm,
whereas now there's literally no padding at the front in these pro gloves. So, putting my hands in there and that, I was just like, okay, well, I'm definitely not trying to get hit with anything. That was in my mind, but it was good, man. I walked out. I remember it like yesterday. As you say, you get one debut. I
mm,
walked out and my home fans, and the way it's set up in the Holt Suite, you've got the balcony, you got the floor seats, and everyone was just like, it's probably the most. Obviously, in the amateurs, I used to just do my own thing. I have like my gym, a few supporters, a few of the ones from the boxing. It's not something I advertised really.
mm,
But in the pros, like everyone really showed out for that one from my city, and everyone came, and it was just crazy.
mm,
Just just kind of shouting my name, cheering me up, and yeah, I got the win. And then again, it's just all new in it. Like when you're in that ring, you zone out, your top comes off,
mm,
and I'm just okay. This is all different, yeah. But I trained hard for it. I enjoyed it, and ever since my debut, I always train hard for each and every one of my fights. I put
mm,
the intent, but you learn as you go along. But it was good, very good. I went out with with a lot of my close supporters that night, and we enjoyed our night. But
mm,
it was a really experience, man. That debut, I still obviously got the videos and clips and things, so it was good to share that.
mm. Well, from that moment, excuse me, from that moment, you went on a decent roll. You went 13-0, and then next thing you know, you've landed a shot at the British title. It was against what's his name, Chad Sugden. That's a massive moment in your career to win the British title. Talk to me about that because when you are an old man and you look back, you're gonna have that, and no one can take that from you. But at the time, talk to me about how it felt.
Yeah, I feel like at that stage in my career, everything just went really fast uphill.
Mm,
Um, like obviously won all my boxer, won the English, and just kept winning things, and it just literally went sky high. Um, didn't I kind of feel like I was almost kind of because of COVID, I felt like a little bit robbed at that moment. Being able to share, like if you look like for example when I won the English title or my boxer and things like that, like a lot of my fans were there. So like because COVID hit, it was behind closed doors, and I kind of had that moment in the back with my coaches, and then like at the time, a lot of people were obviously watching it at their house and things. So I kind of had my phone blowing up and people I knew hitting me up and things. But it was a good moment. And I feel like it's one of them ones where because you're that occupied, and I'm always one of those when I win, I put it behind me. I'm always thinking about what's next. You've got to be in this career. You got to keep thinking what's next, and ways to improve. It's like I was more or less straight back in the gym. Not long after that, I think I had a short holiday, and then I came back. I was straight back in the gym, but it was a proud moment, good moment, to put my my dad obviously boxed and things, but he done it for his own whatever pleasure or whatever. But
Mm.
it was good to just put the family name in history. And obviously, long may that continue. There's many more bouts out there I want to get and chase, and I'm definitely not ready to look back at all. 100% not.
Exactly, mate. We'll talk about those aspirations in a little bit, but the next step in your career was a loss to Craig Richards. It feels so long ago now because I remember it. I remember watching it, but like I say, it does feel like ages ago. But in hindsight, looking back now, what went wrong?
Just myself, I got caught with a good shot.
Mm.
And that was it. It was a fight that I believe I was winning. I was doing what I was doing, but boxing's a fight of 12 rounds when you fight at championship level, and it don't matter. You know what I mean? You get caught. You just gotta. I just had to dust myself off from that and come again.
Mm.
It was just his night and the night. I'd love to fight him again. I'm open about that, and yeah, it'd be nice to get it on again, man. Further down the line and let me turn that decision around.
Mm. So it's you mentioned wanting to fight again. Is that rematch something that you're close to? Do you reckon? Not. I'm not saying you're in negotiations, but in terms of where you want to be, would you say you're close to that level?
Yeah, it's always there. Like
Mm.
it's always in my eyes. I know everyone's always trying to look and everyone wants that world title shot and do other things. And fair play to him, he done well against Bivol, for example. But I just feel like it's always in touch and distance. I don't wish bad on anyone's career, but everyone's one win from going elsewhere, one loss for coming to play somewhere else. So I just gotta focus on my own journey. I'm not. I don't chase anything. It's what I want down the line, but I don't chase anything. At the end of the day, I've just got to keep focused and winning, and
Mm.
don't be banana skin my career.
But fast forward to now,
Yeah.
couple of wins, a loss to Dan Azeez, but now you're in a good place. You've got a fight coming up soon. Talk to me about the fight that's coming up soon.
Dan's another guy I'd love to fight again as well.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm coming back to that. Don't worry.
Definitely, I won't smoke with him more. But which one the fight I've got coming up?
Yes.
So yeah, it's obviously I don't want like for me, I don't want to do the same mistakes. And for example, like what we done when I fought Dan, um, with inactive, not due to any fault of my own, because I'm a very active fighter. It's shown in my record. I like to fight, but the way our boxing is now, I don't know what it is. The sport's a bit weird, man. Like
Mm.
everyone either wants that. I know we all want to make money and we all want to do well. Don't be wrong, but everyone's just like willing to more sit there and chase that big fight. And I get it; it makes business sense, but we're also athletes, and we've got you want to be you want to be doing things. You know what I mean? I want to test myself against other people who say, or other people who fans say they're good or whatever. And obviously, I'm not going to shortchange myself. It's got to be right. But everyone's just willing to just sit there. I like to
Mm.
fight a lot more than like once or twice a year. And yeah, it's going a bit mad. But so yeah, this fight for me, I'm obviously gonna pick over, stay busy with this one, and leading up to a bigger fight, hopefully in October, which I've been told about. So yeah, rather than sitting down doing not much,
Mm.
I might as well, do something and come back even. But you could be in the gym training so long, and it gets annoying.
Mm.
You want to let hands out on someone else, and you've been working in the gym, in
Yeah.
the ring. So yeah, man, I think it's important to stay active and busy. Other promoters are doing that with their fighters, and yeah, for myself, I've got to just do what's right for my career. And sometimes it's got to be done this way. You got to just do your thing and then come back and fight on a bigger scale or whatever and get the job done and look impressive doing it. I'd rather be fresh and know and see what I'm working on and implement them in the ring than to sit there and just not do anything and then try and just wait for opportunities.
Mm. Well, you mentioned there that you've been spoke to about maybe a bigger fight in October. Is there anything you can say on that at the minute, or is it a bit tight-lipped?
Yeah, it's a bit like not much I could say on that.
Mm.
But hopefully that comes to light and we'll see what's good.
Yeah. Well, Shaq, the floor is yours. You mentioned Dan Azeez there. You want the smoke. Talk to me about it. When do you want it?
Not even, even just anyone, any and anyone above me can get it, man.
Mm.
Anyone. I let hands fly with anyone. I'm willing to. It makes sense. I'm willing to let hands fly at anyone. I'm in here not just to try and sit down and just chill out. You know what I'm saying? I want to be active. I want to be fighting on TV. I want to be doing what I do best. So yeah, the only reason why I mentioned their names because I've lost to them, obviously.
Mm.
But we can really honestly get it as well. I've never shied from no fight. You know.
Exactly, that's the only way to be. But just briefly touching on Dan, there's rumours that he's going to be fighting Buatsi next. If those two were to clash, who would you pick as a winner?
I don't know, like Dan's very good at coming forward. Wax is good at selecting his shots. I think right now Sky's really trying to push Dan more. He's like their poster boy, you know what I mean? So
Mm.
obviously Wax is probably going to be more on the B side in that because that's how they would want to make it. Like I
Yeah.
fought on the Sky fought against Dan. I was already rounds down. You know what I mean? I really was. I was already rounds down. The commentary was stupid as hell. And even the replay, you know, there was very biased. There was a lot of shots I was catching down with as well. But they play those and where the judges are seated as well, you know, any close rounds, they're looking at that. They're gonna give it down, you know what I mean? It's just bullshit. I feel like I know I could have fought better. I kind of fought more his fight and things. And, you know, mentally my head was in other places as well, I'll be honest. But it's one of those where a fight's a fight, win or lose, win, lose, draw. You know, we all should be on an equal playing field. But the
Mm.
way how the business is in boxing, sometimes it's like it's just disheartening. It's bullshit, but
Mm.
it is. But yeah, be prepared. As I say, I know he's with Sky, but I feel like Dan's their poster boy, so they're really gonna try and push him a lot more with everything in that. Um, but it'd be a good fight. I got a lot of respect and time for both of them. To be fair, they're both cool guys. Don't make no difference to my life. I'd have the winner or loser out of that as well. And you know, all the best to all of them.
Mm. Well, another fight that it's massive. As a boxing fan, I'm sure you've been looking forward to it, but now it's finally been made. Um, Spence Crawford. A lot of
Yeah,
people are sitting on the fence when I chat to them about it, but who would you pick if you could pick out of them
I
two?
got I got Spence. I think Spence may even stop him later in the rounds, between like
Mm.
round nine and 10. I got Spence to stop him. I got a good few bets on as well, man. Little side bets. Good couple of money on that for me. You know what I mean? So hopefully Spence
What
blazes
makes
out.
what makes you lean towards Spence in that one? Because a lot of people, I'll be honest, a lot of people I spoke to are saying Crawford. So what makes
Yeah,
you think Spence is the man?
I think what it is like. A lot of people thought. A lot of people really thought that car accident would change Spence and things like that. I've always liked Spence style. You know what I mean? Plus the yard man. But bacon. But yeah, now I've always liked his style, man. And like that's how he is, his aura. I like Crawford as well. Don't get me wrong, good fighter. I respect both of them as fighters and things, but I just feel it all depends on it. Like Crawford's coming up to his weight. He's grown into that weight. Spencer's obviously no, it don't matter about size, and people say that, but he's the bigger guy. When he rehydrates and all that, I feel he's just going to be more bigger than Crawford.
Mm.
He's a good fighter and he can box. Spence, same as Crawford, he could turn it up and things like that. But I think it's more his athleticism in Crawford.
Mm.
He's good with his feet, moving in and out, getting out, making people miss by inches. But yeah, I think Spence will break him down. I think towards the later rounds, I think he will.
Mm.
It's going to be a really good fight, though. I'm interested in it. But you asked me who I got to win. I'm leaning more with Spence.
Mate,
Do
well,
you?
mate, I can't pick. I'm one of the ones. I'm a hypocrite. I'm sat on the fence.
You can't sit on the fence.
If I had to, I'd probably pick Crawford just because I don't know. When I like first got into boxing, and like, well, not first, but when I was properly into it, my dad he was showing me like Crawford fights, and we'd stay up to watch them and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's more sentimental the reasons why I'm picking Crawford, but
Yeah.
I just
Nah, they're both good fighters, man. They're
mm,
the best, man. But as I say, like I'm more leaning to Spence. Just from like I'm a Spence fan. I like his style, and I got obviously a lot of money on it as well with other people
mm.
outside the box, things like that. So yeah, man. Hopefully he brings that through.
But anyway, back to you. This is a bit of a not so serious question, but a question I want to know the answer. If you could pick your dream venue, I know it sounds like a cliche, but I've had so many different answers. What is Shakan Pitters' dream venue?
Las Vegas, MGM, one of those ones.
Mm,
Alice, because this where all the legends really fought. You know what I mean? Obviously, Wembley would be good, hometown business, but I'm all for the overseas trips now. I'd rather go fight in Las Vegas. If I could take my hand, like, don't be wrong, I've had so many training camps outside of boxing already in like other states in America, and boxing's taken me to like places like Dubai and other places, Poland, all kind of crazy places. But if I can fight in one of these venues, then that'd be an accomplishment. You know what I mean?
mm,
Because I'm someone coming from a football background. It was never a background, so
mm,
to put like a lot of my supporters and take myself, my team out to America, to stateside, I feel like it doesn't really get as bigger than that. Bar the
yeah.
UK, boxing's so massive in the UK, in the USA. So if I could go Vegas for boxing, that'd be kind of, I could say that's like a little dream come true. TikTok.
Mm,
Therefore, I've been Vegas already, but like if I can go there as a real highlight, any of the
yeah,
venues
yeah.
there, that'd be big for me.
Mm. Well, last question. It's been a pleasure so far, but talk to me about where you see yourself coming the end of the year. You got this fight coming up with the Excelsior Sporting Club in Birmingham. Then you're talking about maybe a bigger fight in October. But come Christmas time, when you're sat with a family, where do you see yourself come the end of the year? What have you done?
Well, winning these next two fights and out around my shoulder.
Mm. What belt?
Um,
I'm trying to
you
get some clues.
smart, you smart. There's a couple of bouts, but it's definitely got to be a big bout for me.
Mm.
I ain't trying to look back down. I want a good bout, but I want a strap on my shoulder, and I want to keep winning these titles. These titles are putting O's on check, so if that's what I've got to do to earn more money in this sport, then that's what I'm on.
Well, mate, I've got a feeling it's gonna happen. I can see it, mate. But anyway, like I say, it really has been a pleasure. And
Yeah,
yeah, I've been Lyndon Dixon. It's been Shakan Pitters, and we will see you on the next one.
definitely, man. Catch you later.